I've received lots of requests to show the Type A mod that I did, and really quickly, I have no Type A's to spare at this moment, but I will show you the mod. At first glance, it just looks like a pile of cubies, yeah, whatever. Anyways, but if you look carefully at each one of my edges, oh crap. But if you look carefully at each one of my edges, I've actually modded each piece. I took a Dremel and rounded these completely, taking off as much plastic as I could without actually ruining the structure of it. I left the core alone because the core is fine, it's smooth, blah blah blah, it's fine. Just leave that alone. But for the edges, what I did was took a Dremel and sanded those down, so it's clean. And each one of my edges are like that. So I mean, you can go ahead and look at that pile for about 1, 2, 3 seconds, and each one of them are rounded. Or yeah, see. Now for the corners, same thing. I took off as much plastic as I could. But with the corners, I also took an X-Acto knife and I scraped off some rough spots on like these legs of the cube. I only have my box cutter available, but for the sake of showing you where I scraped it off, I will do it anyways. Right here. So this area right here is usually just taking off a little bit more plastic. Anyways, that area right there is usually bumpy. Now you can see it right here. Now the structure of it, it's going straight, it curves, and it goes straight down. Now by scraping off these until they're completely rounded, it increases the smoothness of the cube. Here you can see it. I'm putting it back together, but you can see how much plastic I took off, and yeah. So you can, I mean, it's a lot of plastic that I took off. And if I could say something, I would say that it's definitely worth doing the mod. It makes it a lot lighter. Of course, I like lighter cubes, but you may not like lighter cubes at all. I personally prefer lighter cubes because, in my opinion, they are a lot easier to turn. And that's just what I'm saying. Of course, I would recommend this mod only if you're experienced with using a Dremel rotary tool. That's the tool that I used. I just took the sanding bit and I just basically shaved down the entire cube. Of course, do this at your own risk. If you shave too much off, the piece may become unusable and you basically wasted a cubie. The only downside to this mod is if it pops, it might pop like going inside. So it's gonna pop like, sometimes I've had a pop happen like this, where a piece would actually collapse into it because it's rounded, like that. Of course, yeah. Again, there's also another downside. If it doesn't pop like that and it pops out, the possibility of the entire cube falling apart is much higher because there's no excess, there's not that leg to support it up. It's gonna collapse inwards. So if it pops, which I have not had in a very long time because this cube is so kick-ass, it will pop completely. I did some pop tests, so I know what that's like. And other than that, just check out the insides. It's almost hollow. That's what you're aiming for, a much lighter cube, and it does help in my opinion. I don't use lube for my cube because I clean it regularly. Now cleaning it makes it smoother. After lube, reapply the lube, clean it again, reapply the lube, clean it again, and do this periodically. I would suggest every 5 days or so. Now, the reason I do this is because after every single cleaning, you remove the gunk that's slowing down the cube, and eventually the cube will be smooth as is. I mean, this is absolutely no lube. It's just smooth like that, and it's tight enough not to pop, but it's loose enough to cut corners quite well, and that's due to the shaving the bumps off the corners. And it does help a lot, seriously. Do this mod at your own risk. It's not my fault if you break your cube. Seriously.